My name is Ryan. I am 13 years old and I have Asperger's syndrome. Life in school can be very tough for kids with Asperger's, as we tend to be the target of bullies. I felt that nobody really knew much about Asperger's. In fact, when I asked 5 people my age about it, no one could explain what it was and how it affects people. I want to teach you more about Asperger's so that you will understand people like me and so that no one else has to suffer from bullying like I have. So what is Asperger's syndrome? Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, which means that it is a problem in the way the brain and nerves develop, so it affects the way a person's brain and body works. It is called a spectrum disorder because there is a huge range of levels of autism. At the more severe end of the autism range, people have difficulty controlling their bodies. They may make noises, flap their arms, spin around a lot, or be unable to talk. These children probably go to a special school. At the mildest end of the spectrum, people go to a regular school, are generally very smart, and look just like everybody else, but have trouble communicating with other children. People at this mild end of the spectrum have Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is something that you are born with. It basically means that your brain processes information differently from other people. People with Asperger's are often very smart, but are not seen that way because they struggle to get along with other people socially. Now let's look at the effects of Asperger's syndrome. People with Asperger's have a hard time making and keeping friends. It might seem strange to you that having friends is something that is hard to do because to all of you it is easy. It is something that you've always done. For people with Asperger's, it is hard because we don't process information in the same way that you do. One example is that people with Asperger's find it hard to understand what people's facial expressions mean. Some are obvious, like I can tell when someone is happy, but other facial expressions may seem very similar to me. Which of these two facial expressions do you think Asperger's people have the most difficulty with? If you chose the middle two, you were right. Asperger's people also struggle to understand the meaning of tones of voice people use. They have trouble with sarcasm and jokes. We tend to take things seriously when they were not always meant that way. It is also hard to tell the difference between friendly teasing and bullying teasing. We tend to take what people say literally and are hurt by it even if it was meant just as a joke. How you should treat a kid with Asperger's. Try to be friends with them. You know how important friends are to you. Imagine not having anyone to talk or sit beside. Kids with Asperger's want to be friends. They are usually great kids who just happen to act a little different sometimes. Make yourself easier to be friends with. If a kid with Asperger's asks to sit with you or partner for a project with you, let them. Can you imagine how it feels when no one ever wants to include you? Lunch can be a big problem. Invite them to sit with you or include them so that they don't feel left out. You might be surprised to find out what fun people they are. You just have to give them a chance. Let them know if you are getting frustrated or angry with them. Remember, kids with Asperger's don't pick up on tones of voice or facial expressions, which are warning signs that most people use to show they are getting frustrated. Just tell them calmly you are getting annoyed so that they know that they have to make a change. Try to understand that Asperger's kids have difficulties with things and often get frustrated. Try to be understanding if you see them getting frustrated or overreacting to an everyday situation, and whatever you do, don't tease them about it. You should understand that kids with Asperger's don't respond well to change. Often, people think that they are being bossy, but really they're just trying to be in charge so that they avoid unexpected changes. This can be tough to deal with in group work. It can help if plans are made ahead of time so that they know what to expect. If you see someone who who you know or suspect has Asperger's and they look lonely, invite them into your conversation. Life with Asperger's can be very lonely. Don't forget to Asperger's is a disability. You wouldn't tell someone they couldn't sit with you at lunch because they are blind, and you wouldn't refuse to work with someone in class because they were in a wheelchair. So why do it to someone with Asperger's? Kids with Asperger's can no more help the way they are than you can help having your color eyes. It's just the way you were born. Asperger's kids want nothing more than to fit in and have friends, and with a little help from you, they can. Many people with Asperger's have gone on to accomplish great things in life. Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, and Bill Gates are a few very famous examples of what amazing things people with Asperger's can accomplish. Be sure to do what you can to help someone with Asperger's. They may be one of the great leaders, inventors, or businessmen of the future. If you want more kid-friendly information about Asperger's, read Can I Tell You About Asperger's by Jude Welton. I created this presentation as I am on a mission to make the world a more accepting place for people with Asperger's. In addition to this presentation, I've also created a presentation explaining this syndrome to teachers to help them understand how to help Asperger's students succeed in school. My hope is that through education I can reduce the bullying endured by many children with Asperger's. In recognition of my work, I was awarded the 2011 Weller Center Outstanding Young Achiever Award.